Well, hello and welcome to this brief tutorial on the AWSOM spreadsheet. AWSOM stands for a well system for ongoing maintenance. The spreadsheet takes the information from a phone or SMS, series of SMS texts, then it converts them and processes them in a semi-automatic and mandrolic way. Then we can put it out onto the website. Right, without further ado, let's go into the AWSOM spreadsheet. Right, this is the AWSOM spreadsheet. Click anywhere here and it takes us to the flow menu. These green blocks that if you press it activates and you go to that particular screen. So we'll be looking at manually entering well data. We'll be looking at the day summary. We're looking at graphical trends and recommendations, which is key. Actions review and print, and then update to website. Right, first of all, let's look at manually entering well data. So this is the box 1. We click on here and we get presented with a list of wells. 2 at the moment. Let's go Ray in Dar 1. This is in Dar es Salaam. So the white cells are for data entry. Now just to remind us, the text that we receive looks like this on the phone, prefaced by AWSOM #388 and a number, and this is a unique number for the Arduino computers. For example, that's one of them. They're wonderful things. Right, this is the manual data entry screen for the spreadsheet. Anyway, there's certain conditional formatting on there. So Arduino number, the date and time, temperature of the internal unit, the battery voltage of the unit, the pump count, which is continually incrementing, and the spreadsheet converts it into litres, but that's later on. We have a work day. It's been incrementing and it increments every time it sends a text. The work day increases, and this is the power loop. As you can see, it's relatively consistent. It's when the number of, once again, 30-second counts that the little Arduino goes through since the last text. It texts every time the sun goes down, or it thinks the sun goes down. Yes, okay. Right, so that's the input. Let's go back to the flow menu and let's look at day summary. Day summary does what it says. We have 2 wells. At the moment they're both green. There's no red activity on those cells today, so that's fine. Then we can look at the graphical trends. Now, graphical trends is once again presents us with a list of wells. If we go in Ray and Dar es Salaam 1, here it will the number of activity litres for the past 14 days. Right, this is some days ago. This is November, and we can see that there are a couple of red cell events here. These red cell events indicate that there was a problem, or the spreadsheet thought there was a problem on those 2 days. There is one further output screen, and we can scroll down and we can see it, and here we have the temperature, internal temperature of the unit, hovering between 40 and 50 centigrade. If it gets above that, we're in trouble. These are the temperature, the volts, pump count, activity litres, workday, power loop, the reset error. You can see the 2 red cell events, and these are error, or the spreadsheet thinks it's an error. Why? It thinks, hang on, something's wrong here. Next thing is the battery voltage, and you can see we've got a couple of whoopsies there at just under 4.6 volts. Right, finally we have the lower portion of the screen down here, which indicates the calibration station. It's a rough approximation, but we know the people in the well are going to use the well, and the idea is to get them a sample to pump 20 litres for a period of time, and then we can use that time to calculate the litres. It's surprisingly consistent, actually. Yeah, surprisingly consistent. So it doesn't really matter. After all, we're not looking at absolute figures, we're looking at relative figures, and almost there it's the day-to-day activities. Right, that is the activity output. One thing that it must do is to fill in a box here to explain what's going on, and date it, initials and date it. So that should explain what's happened. Right, there is one other thing that we can do, and that is we can scroll through the last 100 days. And if we do that, we're scrolling forward now, we can see that the red cells are going to the left, and this is becoming more recent times. Anyway, we can also see that happening down here on the battery voltage, because it's quite easy to see that shifting around to the left too. Right, so that summarizes the graphical trends, and we have that for each well. We have now an action review and print. So these are, for those two wells we've got, the reasons what has happened to that particular well. And once again, the spreadsheet kindly gives a summary. It looks at the 7-day average of litres for that well, 183 litres per day, but the current usage is 15. So that is way low, and it's saying there's something funny here, what's going on? Does this comment explain it? If not, they need to go and investigate or make inquiries about it anyway. So we've looked at manually data entry, we've looked at the day summary, we've looked at the graphical trends and the action review. Now the last thing we have to do is update the website. And once again, we have which well do we want to update. Let's have a look in radar 1, and we're presented with another flow menu. Once again, for that particular well, 3887, well name and the date. The first thing we do, it says select file and print to PDF. So we've got to select the file up here and then print and make sure it's printing to PDF, which it is, which is fine. Next thing we do, click here and then PDF charts and double click on the PDF chart of interest. So here we click on PDF charts, and we want, well, 3887. So we can look at 3887 in the PDF charts. Here we go. Double click on the chart and then click on that number, and then we click save and then say yes, replace the file. So we click save and yes, replace the file. So that has updated the PDF. Next thing we have to do is to open the hosting website by clicking on this box, and up comes this dialog box, and we put in the username, a password and log in. Right, what does it say next? File manager 5858 holder and then the PDF chart. So we've got to click on the file manager, which is here. I'm waiting for their website. Okay, go 5858 folder, and then we click on the chart of interest, which is 3887. The 3887, that's the file that we want to update. Right, now what does it say? Now we click on here, so we've done that. Okay, now we select, drag and drop the selected wells PDF into 5858. So if we go here, it will click eventually, and it will pull up all the folders that we've got, which is, one of them is 3887, which is this one, and that's the latest one we've just done, which is date modified, which is today's date, and then we have to go and drag and drop it into the appropriate folder. So if we expand that, you can see that we have eventually we have the folder, the PDF file. So then we take 3887 and then we drag and drop it to that. Then it uploads it, and that's it. It says you have been successful, and that is all there is to it. Then we close everything down and go back to the flow menu and quit. Okay, thanks for listening all, and all the very best, and good luck. Right, what we've done is just updated the website, but we haven't actually proved we've done it. So we've got to go into where that folder was in the spreadsheet, which is normally on your C drive, and it says there local C drive, and it should be in a folder called Wells, and there should be the well master, which is that one, and the utilities, well utilities. Right, we go into well master, double click on that, and you wait about 15 minutes. And do we want to update? Yeah, why not? Now, to check that the website is working, the easiest thing is to go into the AWSOM logo up there, and if we click on there, it will eventually take us to the website, and we can click on charts and 3887, which is that one up there. So we just click there, and there we are. If we scroll down, we can see the voltage, and there's 2 voltage spikes and the calibration section as well. And that's all there is. It's a PDF, comes up as a PDF. There is no back button, so it's an orphaned web page, orphaned file, and so anyone else can refer to it. And we just close that down and go back to our spreadsheet. That'll do. Okay, there is other stuff, but that's the main thing. That is the main trend, to get manually entered data through to the graphical trends and update the website. That's the most complicated, and that's what we have had automated, as we had this automated as well once. At the moment now it's just work in progress, but if you move that box out of the way, if I can just grab it, underneath there is automatic pump count entry, and if we click on that, you can see we come up with a load of errors, which is why it is not active. So the code does not operate anymore. Anyway, let's put that back. That is tomorrow's problem. Right, that's it. Thanks for watching everybody, and the best of luck. Cheers. Good night.